Okay. Been thinking long and hard about everything that's going on, as far as in the world, as far as in our community, as far as just the totality of everything, as far as things as serious and heavy as the Breanna Taylor shooting and ruling, which I'm probably gonna get into first. Things as serious as that, all the way down to things that's not quite as serious, but still serious and still issues that got to be addressed. Going all the way to Vlad TV, whether it be the situation as far as the interview with Royce the 5'9" and Myson and Myson position and Royce position. I'm gonna get into that in a second too, but I'm gonna start off with this Breanna Taylor case. So we all know about Breanna Taylor, young, I think 20 in her mid 20s, young black lady living in Louisville, Kentucky, um, along with her boyfriend. She was currently shot by the police multiple times. She was unarmed, and there was no reason for her to be shot. Now, the story that's getting put out there is that it was a warrant. It was a no-knock warrant, which is supposed to be you can go in without names on your clothes, say you the police, I guess plain clothes, and you can go in with forts. So on one side of the fence, they were saying it was a no-knock warrant. But you hear so many different things coming from that side. Cause when you go back and look at it, they say it wasn't a no-knock warrant because when they put on the original police report, they said that it wasn't forced entry. They said it wasn't forced entry. They was let in, even though by that time everybody had already seen the door had been pretty much destroyed and busted in. They busted in there. So let's take this from the top. The top is the reason for the warrant. It was a lie. Do your due diligence, do your research. We just heard from the lawyer in the case giving out facts of the case. And he is trying to get the transcripts for that case so we can find out everything that was said and everything that was going on because there's so many lies, there's so many cover-ups, there's so many just foolish and ridiculous commentary coming from the other side, which would be the guilty policemen and law enforcement and even up to the attorney general. Like district attorneys, all of them play a hand in that. There have been so many lies because first of all, it was a lie as to the reason for the warrant, for the no-knock warrant. That's where you start at the top. That's the most, I ain't gonna say the most significant, but it's one of the most significant characteristics in this situation. Because if you lied about the reason to get a no-knock warrant because they said that they seen her boyfriend bringing a package out of the house. Now, first of all, we all know how this works. I ain't got no criminal record. I ain't never been to jail. Like, I got a career. I do, you know what I'm saying? I got a career that I do heating it up. But I come from nothing. I come from the streets. So I got tons of family that come from that element. So when you got police getting warrants and looking at people for packages and suspicious stuff, 90% of the time it's supposed to be somebody that already has a history of criminal activities. And even then, you can still be wrong. You can still be targeting. Because what if it was a person that did something in the past and wanted to get their life right, and they got a package from Amazon, UPS, for wherever. It could be a family member's birthday party. You could have something a package, a gift in the package there. You could be sending the package. It's just so much stuff you could do when you're gonna tell me the reason that this warrant was executed because you seen this man with a package. Now let's bring into the fact, like I said, criminal activity throughout your history should be a factor. That's what's supposed to play a role when they're watching you because they're not just gonna come watch everyday regular men bringing packages out of their house that's working and ain't got nothing to do with the streets. It's absurd. It's a waste of taxpayers' money and it's just no logics behind it. So they're watching Breanna Taylor's boyfriend. This guy has no criminal record. Never been in trouble with the law. He has a gun, which is the gun that they claim that he fired off at them. He has a gun. He's a law-abiding citizen, and he has a legal gun. So he's exercising his right to bear arms, which is the Constitution, which is what y'all always go to when y'all talk about Colin Kaepernick, kneeling and all this. Constitution, how y'all love, respect the Constitution so much. The Constitution gives us our right to bear arms if we've had no criminal record or charges against us, and we've lived life as law-abiding citizens, not getting in trouble and not being out there doing things we ain't supposed to be doing. So when you do that, the privilege for that is supposed to be you can carry a firearm to protect yourself from other people that aren't law-abiding citizens. That's the purpose of it. So the man had a firearm that was legal, registered. He's a law-abiding citizen. He's never been locked up or in trouble. So why would you see this man with a package and just assume it was drug activity there? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And that's the issue that we having as black people and in the black community. Because I'm looking at comments, I'm looking at stuff that people saying, and that's all nationalities. Because this is something else I'm going to get through. Charles Barkley nut ass is a fucking nut, bro. Charles Barkley, and you can always listen to Charles Barkley commentary, but with the George Floyd situations, with so many of our past situations that have been going on, the police was so wrong and so blatantly wrong that it's almost like who is going to say anything to contradict or to contrast the fact that the police was wrong and the fact that that was murder and the fact that it was premeditated and the fact that he did it on like it's nothing you can say to justify that or to go against that. So when Charles has spoke on things of that nature, it's only one way you can go. So I don't get impressed, and I'm not happy because you stating the obvious and you saying the same thing that everybody is saying, and that's including white America. Even them, they said it was wrong. You got a lot of, and that's why I'm happy with what I'm seeing from white America, the younger generation, because you got a lot of them, they tired of this shit. They tired of this shit. They got friends, they got people that they deal with, people that they respect and look up to that's black, people they grew up with. They love rap music. They look at some of the rappers and some of the basketball players as icons. They love these people, and they sick and tired of this shit. The white community is tired of it. The white community is tired of it. Now, it's the younger generation white community because they don't want to have to be answering for their parents' and grandparents' sins and all the racial stuff that they did. But the younger white people are not the white people that's in positions of power right now. I think it's promising to see the younger white generation feeling the way they feel because in 15 to 20 years, they will be some of the people that's in positions of power. And we fighting to put ourselves in positions of power. When you look at people like Jay-Z's and the Puff Daddies and the Oprahs and people of that nature, Oprah Winfrey with her own network, Jay-Z being worth $1 billion, the resources and the type of people that he's lumped into and the type of rooms that he's able to be in, even doing something as simple or as serious and heavy as making Tidal, giving a lot of young black artists ownership of their music, or at the very least, the ability to be able to make more than 15 cents an album, which is what folks used to make when we was growing up in the 90s. He's giving them more power to do that. He's giving them more freedom and more of an understanding. So when you look at people like them, we are striving, and they're trying to put their kids in position that 15, 20 years, they can be some of the people in these rooms making some of these decisions. So we pushing for that, and we headed in that direction. But as currently constructed, we do not got enough people of color in these powerful positions, people that stand for something anyway, because just the fact that you are black means nothing, because the attorney general that charged this case in Louisville was black. He's a Republican, and he could care less about the black community. So it's not voting and being behind black people. That's not what it's about. It's about being behind. We want to see people of color in positions of power that understand what's going on and really want to make change. So we push for that. We advocate for that. We always will. We never will stop. But it's not like you have to be black in order to be in a position of power, or in order to make a difference, and in order to just simply state what's right and not stand for what's wrong. You don't have to be black. Therefore, we are partnering up. We are holding hands. We are crossing arms with some of the, not just the younger white generation, but the older white generation that know that this shit is wrong, and they sick of it just like we are. They sick of it. we partnering with these people. We talking, we having conversation. We trying our best to put that side of America, which is white America. I ain't even talking about, because it's different white Americas in terms of opinion and how they feel. You got some white Americas that just feel supremacy and stem from white supremacy, so they could care less about black people doing good. They could care less about Spanish people doing good. Asian people, like, they can only care about their race. So you have them. Then you have another side of white America that is not as nearly as extreme as them, but they care about their bottom line. These would be people more like Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, that they're not directly in terms of what we've seen and what we know. We don't know what's going on behind the closed doors, but from what we know, they're not directly in contrast of the black community one way or the other. They don't care. All they care about is their bottom line and their core values that they were brought up with, which is a completely different America from today and a completely different America from what we're trying to make. So you have that group, like the that's filthy rich, that actually are the people in positions of power, but they don't really care about the black community. And it ain't because they don't particularly care about black people. Like, it ain't, they're zoning specifically on that. It's just that it ain't got nothing to do with their bottom line. What happened in the hood, what happened in these impoverished communities, what happened in these, even middle class. It don't even have to be what they consider low class in the hood. It could just be middle class, doing pretty good, because I live in middle class. Like, I ain't rich, I come from nothing, but I work, I got a career, I got a good job. So I live pretty comfortably in terms of where I'm at, but it's middle class. I'm not up, I'm still trying to get my financial situation together so I can be in a better position. So I would be middle class, but people like Jerry Jones, they don't care about people like me. They don't care about people, even if it's a white person in middle class, they could care less. All they care about is that 1% making more money and congregating amongst their peers, which is actually the people in positions of power. Like, that's literally all that they care about. So when you look at situations like that and you think